As protests cross over to day 6, Kaduna State Governor demands investigation into the use of children for demonstrations. Nigeria's federal government blocks accounts allegedly linked to protest sponsors, put some on the watch list. Motorists and park officials in Abuja lament low passenger turnout amid nationwide protests. On the foreign scene, Vice President Kamala Harris picks Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as running mate. Good evening and thank you most kindly for joining us on Trust TV's News Hour. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We'll begin in Kaduna as the governor of Kaduna State, Senator Obasani, has expressed concerns over the use of children in the end hunger protests in the state and the manipulation of poor children to incite violence. The governor voiced these concerns during an assessment tour of the damages done to both public and private properties across Kaduna State by violent protesters. The governor pledged that the government of Kaduna State would not relent in investigating the sponsors who exploited innocent children to disrupt the peace in Kaduna State. Here's Bello Musa with a situation report.
Governor Obasani began his assessment tour with a visit to the New Generation Bank in Tidunwada, Kaduna, which was destroyed by the hoodlums during the end hunger protest.
Maybe you notice what happened. Some of the children were even climbing the APC, the armored vehicle of the police, which of course that shows that the police have been very understanding. They acted professionally for them to allow the children because they realize that those children are underage. But here in Kaduna, we are investigating the situation and we will try as much as possible to get to the root of those who are sponsoring these very unfortunate things in Kaduna State.
Governor Sani expressed concern about protesters raising the flags of other countries during the end hunger protests.
And of course, they took advantage by using the psychology of those children, knowing fully that here in northern Nigeria, our people are close to our neighboring countries like Niger. And of course, they have been able to use their psychology, making them to believe that what happened in Niger can happen in Nigeria, what happened in Burkina Faso can happen in Nigeria, what happened in Mali. So as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing, these protests have nothing to do with bad government or hunger or anything. Of course, there are people that came genuinely at the beginning.
There is considerable compliance to the curfew in Kaduna metropolis as businesses and offices remain closed. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Staying in Kaduna State, an 18-year-old boy, Ismail Muhammad, has been reportedly shot dead by a soldier on patrol in the Samaru area of Zaria. The alleged shooting occurred around 9 a.m. at the residence of the deceased on Sarikim Power Street in Samaru in Zaria. Reports say Ismail Muhammad had just completed his final examination at a secondary school in the area and was seeking admission to further his education before the tragic incident. According to his mother, he was reportedly playing alongside his friends and his brother in front of their house, but started running inside the house when they saw soldiers approaching, one of whom pointed a gun at the children. The soldier reportedly opened fire, killing Ismail at the gate. While the GOC of the 1st Division, Major General MLD Saraso, who visited the residence of the deceased, met with the family and later addressed youths in the area, saying that he went to commiserate with the family and the community over the incident. He assured that a thorough investigation will be conducted on the matter and invite any community member with substantive evidence to come forward for necessary action. General Saraso says the incident was unfortunate, urging the community to continue to live in peace and abide by laws and order. Let's speak to our correspondent for more on this development. Abubakar Bello is joining us from Zaria via phone to give us an update on this development. Abubakar, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. What more have we learned about the visit of the GOC of the 1st Division covering that particular area in relation to this incident?
Yes, the General Officer Commanding One Division, General Saraso, was the resident of the unfortunate incident. And he went into the residence and met with the family closed door. And later on, after he had finished meeting with them, he came out to address the youth who have got outside the residence. And in his speech, he assured that thorough investigation will be conducted. And if any member of the community has any evidence that substantiates what is said, is free, come forward and send evidence. That the committee that was constituted will operate openly.
All right. Abubakar, is there any doubt as to what happened?
Well, there is no doubt because the incident occurred in the morning when some of the youth actually defied the curfew order imposed by Kaduna Security Committee, and this young Samaritan was sitting outside the house when they saw the van of military personnel. When they tried to rush back into their houses, and when Ismail Ahmed entered the house, Ismail pushed the gate and then stayed by the gate inside to prevent any of the security to get to meet them. And incidentally, according to report, one of the soldiers shot at the gate. It penetrated and resulted to the alleged killing Michael Muhammad.
Yeah, Kaduna State is clearly one of the hardest hit states in relation to this nationwide hunger protest. Give me a sense of what the community has been like over the past few days since the commencement of these protests.
Actually, the curfew imposed by the state government is taking via effect on the
Governor Obasani began his assessment tour with a visit to the New Generation Bank in Tidumwada, Kaduna, which was destroyed by the hoodlums during the end hunger protest.
But the security are ensuring compliance. That is why they are going from one place to another to prevent people from movement. And incidentally, the youth mostly told the security personnel, meaning it is a lie, it is a lie. They are confident that, and that always irritates the security personnel. Sometimes they shoot on the air or tear gas onto them or something like that. So actually, they are not cooperating, because they are always talking the security personnel whenever they see them, and that irritates the security officers on duty.
Right. Okay, Abubakar, just before you go, do we know if the police is involved in the investigation into the killing of Ismail Muhammad?
We are yet to find out, because we have not the police yet. We're trying to compile the report. I think by tomorrow, able to know much further about the commitment of the police in the incident.
Okay. Abubakar Ismail, Daily Trust reporter in Zaria, giving us update on that unfortunate killing of a young boy by men of the Nigerian military. Thank you so much for the update. I will circle back as soon as we learn more.
Thank you very much.
Moving on now, authorities of the Nigerian Immigration Service have placed the sponsors of the nationwide End Bad Governance protests on their watch list. The controller of the Nigeria Customs Service of the NIS, Kemi Nandap, disclosed this at the defense headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday, stating that sponsors in the diaspora would be arrested immediately upon setting foot back on home soil. She made this announcement shortly after a strategic meeting convened by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. In response to the protest, the Immigration Service has deployed more officers to land borders and airports to ensure these entry and exit points are effectively monitored. Nandap also mentioned that the service has increased surveillance to prevent foreign intervention in Nigerian affairs. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, revealed that the agency had identified some sponsors of the protest, but declined to provide further details. Presented at the meeting by DSS spokesperson Peter Afunaya, Bichi noted that some bank accounts linked to the sponsors had already been blocked. Elsewhere, the Lagos State Police Command has refuted widespread allegations asserting that their officers neglected to shield peaceful demonstrators from assaults by unscrupulous elements in the state. The command firmly contends that no incidents of protesters being attacked occurred within the proximity of their officers. Trust TV's Ajibade Awofeso tells us more.
Protesters have leveled accusations against the police, alleging a failure to ensure their safety. This follows an incident reported at Ojota on Sunday, where demonstrators claimed they were assaulted by hoodlums.
There's no justice in Nigeria. The courts will not give us justice. Judiciary will not give. Judiciary is looking like scam. They will not give us justice. Nobody will give us justice. Soldiers will not help us. Police will not help us. See them, they're all around, but they will not help us. So they're not calling anybody to help. They're just going to keep pushing. Just like I said, with the ceasefire with the poor money. That's what's going on. So there's no cause for
Do you foresee victory?
I see victory.
Are we ready? Are we ready? DJ, are we ready?
To the bad government. I want to use myself as a case study in this situation.
Wait, say that the new national
in Nigeria.
However, the Lagos Police Command's public relations officer, SP Benjamin Hundeyi, has dismissed these allegations as false and unfounded.
Some who are claiming that an attack happened when signals there. How, when, where, we were there. Well, you don't want to speak, but I could throw it back at you if you witnessed anything. So, I don't know of any attack, especially when I was there. Because I was there, so I don't know of any attack. And I'm happy that everybody had a camera phone and people captured lots of things. So how come this attack did not show up on any video?
The police spokesman assured the public that the force remains unwaveringly committed to ensuring the safety of all individuals during the protests. Ajibade Awofeso, Trust TV News, Lagos.
The Inspector General of the Nigerian Police, Kaide Gbetokun, clarified on Tuesday that the police, the military and other agencies involved in the management of the End Bad Governance protests did not use live ammunition or excessive force on protesters, indicated that security agents were actually attacked while attempting to manage the protests, contrary to claims of excessive force. The IGP made these statements during a meeting of security agency heads in Abuja. According to the Inspector General of Police, their records show that there were no shooting incidents by police during the protest. He also emphasized that the police were not overstretched by the protest and several criminals were apprehended during the period. He also addressed the deployment of police personnel to the Abuja Stadium, explaining that this measure was taken to ensure the protection of peaceful protesters in the Federal Capital Territory. And in Kano, the state government has further relaxed the curfew imposed on the state, now allowing movement from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The state government had initially imposed a 24-hour curfew after peaceful nationwide protesters stormed the various streets in the country to protest the current economic hardship. Now, the government had previously relaxed the curfew to permit movement from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. starting on Sunday. Idris Jabril has a situation report from Kano.
Inside Singa Market, hundreds of people are struggling to restock food items as the market reopens for 5 hours from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. According to market authorities, this limited reopening is crucial to allow Kano residents to purchase essentials amidst the economic hardship exacerbated by the ongoing curfew. Yesterday, authorities in Singa Market announced that the market will be reopened today from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, as you can see, hundreds of people have come to the market to restock food items, and all these people have just finished purchasing their food items and they are coming out from the market. Now behind here is the market entrance, and I can see presence of policemen and military officers guarding the place. And note that anybody carrying food items here will not pass through this gate without showing his proper receipt before he passed through the gate. Now, many of these people are telling me that even that 1 p.m. is not enough for them to get out of the market, because now it's just few minutes to 1 p.m. and people are rushing to get out of the market. In fact, they have already closed the other gate. Nobody will enter again. Only those who are inside the market are allowed to go out. So there are hundreds of people coming out from this entrance, and there are about 4 gates within this market. And all these gates, I have visited all these gates and I've seen hundreds of people trooping out from this market after making their purchases. Meanwhile, as Kano state government relaxes the curfew from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the market has extended its opening hours to 4 p.m. daily. The chairman of the market, Junaid Mahmood, stated that they will continue to monitor the situation to ensure residents can patronize the market safely.
As you have just entered, so we received the information that the Kano state government readjust the curfew time to from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yes, so on this ground, we discussed with with our stakeholders in the market, and we decide to continue till 4 o'clock.
Currently, security has been significantly increased in and around Kano metropolis to prevent relaxation of the curfew from being exploited for unlawful activities. The ongoing tensions in Nigeria, fueled by the economic downturns, have made such measures necessary to maintain order. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News.
To Plateau State, where the state government has convened an emergency meeting in response to curfew violations by hoodlums in Jos North local government area of the state. In a related development, the State Police Command announced on Monday the arrest of 27 suspects linked to attempted looting activities around the state's commercial hub during the enforced curfew hours. Here's the latest from Plateau State.
The 4-day protest in the state has been largely peaceful. However, on Sunday, hundreds of miscreants were seen threatening business owners and forcing them to shut their establishments, prompting the state government to impose a curfew. Despite the curfew, some hoodlums resurfaced on Monday, allegedly attempting to break into shops and steal goods and properties. Their efforts were thwarted by the police and other security agencies. During the emergency meeting at the government house, the police commissioner warned that any individual caught defying the curfew will face strict consequences.
Resolution today, with the leadership of the executive governor of Plateau State, the curfew will be vigorously enforced. It will be enforced. So it's just an advice to people that may think that they may want to disrupt it or cause one problem or the other to stay away, because as we are seeing us here now, we have agreed in totality that we are going to enforce it. We are going to enforce it fully.
Governor Caleb Mutfwan emphasized during the meeting that the decision to impose the curfew was made in the interest of the state.
And what we need to do in order to ensure that there is peace and calm on the platform. We appreciate what has happened thus far, but we need to consolidate it and make sure that nothing goes wrong. That's why we call this security council meeting.
As tensions smear across the nation, The meeting saw the attendance of various heads of security agencies. From Jos, Ado Musa reporting for Trust TV.
And the governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, has charged security chiefs in the state to redouble their efforts towards securing lives and properties, especially amid the ongoing national hunger protest. Speaking at a meeting with heads of security agencies and other stakeholders in Bauchi, Governor Bala Mohammed says the meeting was to discuss strategies to ensure that the ongoing hunger protests do not degenerate into anarchy. The governor acknowledges that Nigerian citizens have not enjoyed the best governance, particularly in the current dispensation where economic policies like the removal of fuel subsidy have plunged many households into poverty. He stressed the importance of all stakeholders working together to calm frayed nerves. The governor of Bauchi State decried the violence that erupted in some parts of Bauchi metropolis as well as in Katagum local government area of the state. He also assured that the state government, with the support of security agencies, has put measures in place to prevent a recurrence. Despite Bauchi being an opposition state, according to Governor Bala Mohammed, he expressed his commitment to supporting the federal government in addressing the issues that led to the protest. Governor Bala Mohammed also emphasized the hope that the national government would rise to the occasion and address the economic challenges currently facing hundreds of millions of Nigerians.
We have to swallow our melancholy because it's part of leadership. But certainly I called you to let you know that the people are annoyed with us. What do? We have done our best. The security agencies have done their best. And we have to come back to our natural habitat, the level of natural leadership, from the emirates to the district heads, to the village heads, to the ulamas who preach in the mosque, and to the clergymen who preach in the church, even to the youth, and to the drivers and the owners of transport agencies. They are all here, NUTW, and also the other agencies. Even the student union are here, I believe. We did that because we have to connect and discuss. Yes, we acknowledge that there is bad governance.
As the nationwide hunger protest in Osun State enters its 6th day, protesters on Tuesday presented their demands to the government of the state. Following assurances from the state government that it will address the demands, there are indications that the End Bad Governance protest movement in the state might have come to an end. Hamid Oyegbade has more.
The protesters were received by the state deputy governor, Kola Adewusi, at the government secretariat in Osogbo, the state capital. The leader of the group, Ajala Adetunji David, presented the demands to the deputy governor in company of top government functionaries. The deputy governor, who assured the protesters that their demands will be met, also commended the protesters for conducting themselves peacefully in the last 6 days of the protest.
As per the request submitted to the government, I can assure you all that the governor will write an accompanying letter to be presented at the next meeting, that these are the requests of the youth in the Osun State, and this will be presented to the federal government. And I told you, in terms of your demand from Osun State government, every request that you listed is being taken care of.
While the governor was addressing us through the deputy governor at the secretariat, another information they reached out to us if we are going to call up we are going to put the protest on hold today. But at that place, we told them that after due consultation, we will agree and reach out to the public on our intention. However, and as you can see, the people who are the leaders have come together and have resolved.
We came here in furtherance and in advancement of our popular struggle to present our demand to the state government here, with the hope to transmit it to the presidency on our demands. Reversal in oil price. But when the representative of the government come here, when the representative of the government come here, he made a promise that he's going to deliver our letter of demand to the presidency.
The deputy governor has spoken, and he has spoken well. But I will come back here and point to him and tell him you are a liar if by in the next 1 month I do not see any action.
Meanwhile, as the protesters suspended the protest, this would allow tourists to attend the Osun-Osogbo festival. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Casino residents link abandoned road project to insecurity as calls grow for immediate intervention. We have details of this and many more stories up ahead after the break.
Are you in search of a top-tier studio equipped with state-of-the-art gear for your next productions? Look no further than Trust TV. At Trust TV, we pride ourselves on offering a sizable studio space, furnished with cutting-edge equipment, perfect for podcasts, video productions, and audience-based shows. From professional cameras to advanced lighting setups, we've got everything you need to bring your vision to life. And the best part, our rates are affordable without compromising on quality. Ready to elevate your productions? Contact Aisha at 0803-646-3018 to book your studio at Trust TV today.
Welcome back to the news hour. Let's take another look at our top stories. As protests across the country reaches day 6, Kaduna State Governor demands investigation into the use of children for demonstrations and destruction. The federal government has blocked accounts allegedly linked to protest sponsors in the country, put some of them on the watch list. Now, with the ongoing bad governance protests in the country in its 6th day, demonstrations have been temporarily suspended in Lagos and a 24-hour curfew has been imposed in Kaduna. While in Abuja, the nation's capital, and some other states, near normalcy has been restored. While activities are gradually returning to normal, the transport sector is still struggling to recover. Motorists in the nation's capital have been lamenting the near zero passenger turnout. Dokas Yakubu has more on the story.
The ongoing End Bad Governance protest has brought about a major setback in transportation sector. The bustling Jabi Motor Park in Abuja, usually busy with activity and noise from park workers calling out for passengers to different parts of the country, is a shadow of itself following the low turnout of passengers than usual. Motorists and park officials attributed the low passenger turnout to the ongoing End Bad Governance protest and economic hardship.
This vehicle has been parked for over 7 hours because there are no passengers. Prior to now, we would have loaded about 20 vehicles, and this is because of the ongoing protest. We all voted for President Buhari, but we are all suffering. We want him to look at the sufferings of Nigerians and come to our aid.
And there is scarcity of money, you understand, apart from the protest. You know, before the protest, everything is not all right. So all join. As you can see, if people have money, they will travel. But if there's no money, what are they going to do? So that is why.
Abin da yasa fasinjoji ba sa shigowa wannan hayaniyar da ake ta gari.
There are no passengers because of the End Bad Governance protest. Look at my vehicle. It has been parked for over 5 days. When the passengers come, the relatives call them over the phone to return home because of the unrest. To make matters worse, I'm not even a resident of Abuja.
They called on President Tinubu to listen to the plight of the people and reinstate fuel subsidy.
Government should come to our aid and reduce the cost of fuel. If they do so, it will reduce the sufferings of the people.
yanzu nan abin da Najeriya ke ciki shine yasa matafiyanmu suke tsoro don
Passengers are scared to travel because of the protest. It is over 5 days and no vehicle has left the park. This is our source of livelihood. We are calling on the government to come to our aid and reduce the cost of fuel.
The somber mood at Jabi Park served as a poignant reminder of the effect of protests on the economy. Officials here are hopeful that with the right interventions, the park will soon return to its usual vibrant terminal, bustling once again with the energy of countless journeys across the length and breadth of the country. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, away from protest-related stories, the Kano State Police Command has announced the arrest of a notorious armed robber and the recovery of 2 AK-47 rifles, as well as 47 rounds of live ammunition. According to the police command's public relations officer, Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, the sum of 4,986,000 now was also recovered from the suspect. The police PRO stated that the arrest followed a report by a resident of Yendari village in Kunchi local government area of the state who had reported that armed robbers had stormed his residence, attacked him and robbed him of 15 million naira. Now, despite the ongoing nationwide protest, the police commission in the state directed a team of detectives to conduct intelligence-led patrols that led to the arrest of the culprits and recovered some operational weapons. On the same day, the team arrested the principal suspect, Hassan Ilya, aged 35, of Al-Hazawa village in Musa local government area of Katsina State while he was attempting to escape on a motorcycle. A spot search revealed a sack containing 2 AK-47 rifles with 47 rounds of live ammunition and over 4 million naira in cash. Elsewhere, residents of Katsina, particularly those living along the Mararabang Kankara Katsina highway, are appealing to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to order the immediate completion of the road rehabilitation project, which was abandoned by the contractor. Now, the road, which has been in disrepair for years, is a major factor contributing to numerous cases of kidnapping for ransom, banditry-related killings, and road crashes over the past decade. From that area, Abdullahi Ahmadi reports.
Dozens of passengers and motorists along this road have been attacked, with some killed and others wounded by bandits and armed robbers, while several others were abducted in the process. This is beside the loss of properties worth millions of naira as a result of accidents due to the dilapidated nature of the road. This federal road is significant to not only Katsina State, but the entire northwest as it passes through 7 local government areas, including those linking Katsina with Zamfara and other states in the region. These include Malumfashi, Kankara, Damusa, Duzuma, Kurifi, Batagarawa, and Katsina up to Niger Republic. Similarly, tons of agricultural produce, including food and cash crops, are being transported to various parts of Nigeria through this highway. At first, residents, especially those around the highway and motorists, were jubilating when the rehabilitation work commenced before its sudden stoppage some weeks ago.
It's one of the roads that links the frontline local governments of insecurity in this state, most especially here in Kankara. It's one of the endemic areas of insecurity. So we are appealing to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to please ensure that we are making our passionate appeal to please ensure that this road construction will be completed.
The work on the over 150 kilometers Kankara-Duzima Katsina Road was at its best before its sudden stoppage just after only 10 kilometers.
Along this road, from Maraba Kankara to Katsina, there have been so much banditry, killings and kidnapping. So we want the federal government to take a serious action on that.
All efforts to speak to the controller, Federal Ministry of Works in Katsina, were not successful, as reports say he has not been on seat for over 10 days. Despite its economic importance, the highway is considered one of the most dilapidated in the entire northwest region, hence the need for its completion in order to save lives and property. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Kaduna.
As the food crisis continues to escalate in Nigeria, residents of Benue State, particularly the youth, have been urged to venture into farming to boost food production both in the state and across the nation. Now, this call comes in the wake of the ongoing hunger protests driven by the rising price of food items as well as other commodities in the country. Jimmy Azande reports.
The removal of fuel subsidy has caused untold hardships, even to families that are hitherto live above average. The youth population, including those who have shunned the nationwide protests, cannot hide their frustrations.
Looking at the nature of things, how things are done now, I think there's every need for the government to know what is going on wrong, and they should do the right thing.
No price control. Look at 2 tubers of yam, 15,000 naira in some places. So how can a poor man survive?
While some are urging the youth to put on their thinking caps and think outside the box to make their lives better, others believe the government should provide the enabling environment to aid entrepreneurship.
Everybody has got a head to think something out for something that is innovative, at least compared to what other people have done. If Mark Zuckerberg can have Facebook, can have metaverse as what is trending today, as it's still upgrading, we can also have other things in IT, have other products that we can still lay our hands upon and produce as innovative as they are. And we can make a living genuinely. But government has a role to provide an environment that is safe for this kind of thinking to thrive.
Some argued that agriculture must be prioritized for things to get right. This group blames the monopoly of the oil economy on Nigerians as a consequence of bad government policies and corruption.
We have a fertile soil, which is one of the key things that would be able to help us in so many ways. One of it is food security. Nigeria as a country is blessed with so many fertile lands cut across many parts of the country. Let's come down to the north central. Benue State, for example. The land is very rich. Many crops can actually thrive here. Some are economic plants or crops, while some are domestic crops that can help us sustain our hunger and estimate food security of the nation to a very large percentage.
With the current state of the nation, some Benue residents are asking the state executives to allow the local government function. This way, they argued, development will be evident at the third tier of government where it is needed the most.
And we have the legal framework for the administration of local government. And I think it is high time the governors should respect the constitutional provisions. They should also respect the laws, the state laws on the regulation of local government, so that we will have a local government that will be responsive to the yearnings and aspirations of the people and the local community.
The hardship, many believe, have come with several lessons, which, if properly learned, would afford the government and the governed opportunities for growth. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, the last 6 days have been tumultuous for Nigeria and its economy amid widespread hunger protests across the nation. The escalating violence on the 5th day of the End Bad Governance protest led to the imposition of a 24-hour curfew across Bauchi, Kaduna and Plateau states. Now, these curfews have exacerbated the nation's economic woes as businesses remain closed due to fears of attacks by hoodlums. Yusuf Akogo in this report highlights the cost of hunger protests on Nigeria's economy.
With the economy already on a downward slope, the declaration of curfews in states amid hunger protests across the country pushes the nation's economy to a near collapse. According to the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, ASBON, and the Kano Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kasima, an estimated 700 billion naira has been lost in the last 5 days in Lagos and Kano states alone. The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise earlier said the country risks losing 400 billion naira daily to the protest. Outside the loss of lives and looting of shops and properties, investors at the Nigerian Exchange Limited lost 92 billion naira at the end of the trading session on Monday. The same goes for Nigeria Eurobond, as there was a massive sell-off at dollar-denominated bond amid the protests and uncertainties. The continued report of violent rioting and the fear instilled on the generality of Nigeria leaves potential investors on edge.
Investors are not scared away that people protested in demand for their rights. Investors are even more scared in a place where people are docile, where fundamental rights are not being realized, where the judiciary is not working, where the rule of law is absent, where there is insecurity, as we have it today in Nigeria. So the demonstration is in the right direction for change to attract more foreign investors.
For these analysts, the revenue loss to the hunger protests will have a long-term impact on the country's gross domestic product, GDP.
The reduced productivity, the shutdowns, money that goes around the economy creating more wealth is not going. If people stay at home, they don't buy things, they don't produce things, definitely the GDP is going to be affected.
Those once affected by the nationwide End Bad Governance protests, however, are those who rely on daily income for their livelihoods. They lamented the impact the last 6 days have had on their means of survival.
It affected my business well. Since on Wednesday, I never come outside concert. Now today be the first time since on Wednesday. For this protest this time, if Baba no talk, if Nafi give me a phone number, maybe I call and talk to them, I go like him.
We barely even eat. The money we are getting now is not even for projects. We cannot even think of, say, okay, we want to buy clothes, we want to buy build house, we want to change car. Do you understand? Everything that we get now is food.
On the way forward, analysts advise government at all levels to introduce policies and programs that will prevent a reoccurrence of such demonstrations.
Overhaul the administration, appoint more competent and honest people, sack those who need to be sacked. There are people who need to go.
Government need to expand engagement. Engagement with youth groups, engagement with market people. That way, they will know what is the pulse of the society.
The general consensus is that a prolonged demonstration will further impact negatively on the country's economy as it will continue to slow the momentum of economic activities. Yusuf Akugu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Elsewhere, Akinlayo Kolawole, the member representing Ido Osi Moba and Ilejeme Federal Constituency of Ekiti State at the House of Representatives, has called on Nigerians to be patient with the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, speaking about the ongoing national hunger protests, Kolawole expressed confidence in the government's ability to guide the country towards prosperity. He urges Nigerians to embrace dialogue as a means of addressing their concerns rather than resorting to protest, while acknowledging that it is the constitutional right of Nigerians to protest if they believe the government is failing to meet their expectations. The House of Representatives member emphasized that the current administration is still new and is working to address the issues inherited from a faulty system.
The youths that are protesting, I will visit them and advise and also beg them to please dialogue. Because if you could see that the crisis in Iran and the crisis in Russia and Ukraine, for the past almost 2 years, they'll be fighting and no solution in place. But if they come to table, I think that crisis will be resolved. So I want our youth to also consider that olive branch that the president has offered them.
Governor Ahmadu Umaru Finchu of Adamawa State has been recognized for his leadership in infrastructure renewal and urbanization in northeast Nigeria. Stakeholders from the Bureau for Public Enterprises, Abuja, highlighted his efforts during an assessment visit to the abandoned Yola International Hotel, which is currently under renovation. Now, the visit was organized by the Adamawa State Investment and Property Development Company to evaluate the hotel's potential for redevelopment. Gibson Swarigo has more from Yola.
The Yola International Hotel, built more than 38 years ago by the defunct Gongola state, was once a pride of Adamawa state in the hospitality and tourism industry. However, it fell into despair due to poor management and corruption. Recognizing the hotel's potential, Governor Buhari has been leading efforts to restore it to its former glory. A recent visit by the Abuja Bureau for Public Enterprises team is one of many such initiatives. Michael Magaji, the Director of Infrastructure and Public-Private Partnership and head of the team, informed Adamawa State government officials that the site visit is part of efforts to uncover the reasons behind the hotel's decline and explore how a partnership can revitalize it. The goal is to make the hotel perform optimally and benefit Adamawa State, given its strategic location for tourism.
So we're here in Yola. This is easily one of the biggest hotels, not just in Adamawa State, not just in the northeast, but in the northern part of Nigeria. And that's very significant. It also has a strategic location. And we think all this can help to optimize it, bring returns back to the state government. His Excellency has been at the forefront of infrastructural renewal, new urbanization. So we're here to support them.
Speaking on the developmental plans of the Fintri administration, Commissioner of Culture and Tourism, Aloysius Babadoke, informed the experts that Governor Fintri is eager and determined to revitalize the Yola International Hotel for the benefit of the people of the state and beyond.
Yeah, we are together with our consultants and Chairman Adama Investment. As a representative of the government, we are here to assess the hotel. The hotel has been abandoned by the previous government. By today, His Excellency Ratmago Amadu Fintri has bring it back to the scene of the people of Adamawa, that is the Adamawa property, and we have to use it properly.
Rabi Ahmed, Managing Director of Adama Investment and Property Development Company, explained that the engagement with the visiting team, experts in privatization, commercialization, concession, and build, operate, transfer in Nigeria aims to develop a strategy for the hotel's viability.
We have not said we are selling the hotel. We are not saying that we are privatizing the hotel. We have not reached that stage yet until we are advised by the consultant, by the procurement advisor on what to do. That is when we will sit down and put our heads together for the best interest of Adamawa State and its citizens. This edifice here has not been in operation for almost 40 years. And His Excellency is keen in seeing that this infrastructure is brought back to use. That's why he transferred the edifice to the Adamawa Investment to look for investors.
The visiting group also toured Jamaica Amusement Park to explore how the Bureau for Public Enterprises can advise the government on its development. Rabi Ahmed, Managing Director of Adamawa Investment and Property Development Company, stated that a proposal for this development will be prepared and submitted to the government for action. The delegation then held a closed-door meeting with Adamawa State Government representatives led by the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Awal Tukur, at the Conference Hall, Government House, Yola. Gibson So Adigo, Trust TV News, Yola.
You're still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's join Yusuf Akogo for the latest in business.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogo. The Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Emomotimi Agama, has harped on the need for Nigeria to leverage on the ongoing recapitalization of bank, as well as other efforts to diversify the economy from oil in its quest to achieve its $1 trillion economic target. In a statement on Tuesday, Agama said the nation needs to invest in infrastructure, human capital, and innovation, enhance the business environment, and reduce regulatory hurdle, as well as promote financial inclusion and access to credit for SMEs and individuals. He explained that the recapitalized banking sector could lead to increased lending to key sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and infrastructure to drive economic growth and enhance banks' ability to underwrite large ticket transactions. Telecommunication companies are reducing their foreign exchange exposures as the Naira's steep decline continues to drive substantial financial losses despite strong revenue growth. In the first half of 2024, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC and Airtel Africa PLC reduced their combined FX exposures to $100 million from $966.6 million reported by December 2023. This represents an FX debt reduction of $867 million. According to the telcos, this reduction is crucial for mitigating the losses incurred due to currency volatility. The Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to unify the country's foreign exchange market caused the naira to depreciate from 471 per dollar to 1,384 per dollar by June 2024. This depreciation wiped out the 563.20 billion naira revenue gains reported by MTN and Airtel Africa in the first half of 2024. Bearish sentiment was sustained in the market on Tuesday as investors continue to adopt cautious trading. Let's see how it went down today. Of course, down there, looking at the losing equities, Boaseme lead that table there, down 9.99% to close at 128 naira and 90 kobo per share. Of course, Thomas Watt Nigerian PLC also down 8.52% to close at 1 naira and 61 kobo per share. Of course, Champions PLC also down 7.97% to close at 2 naira and 77 kobo per share. Of course, this has dragged down the market downward by 0.68% in terms of volume of trade. 449.210 million shares were traded, valued at 6.735 billion naira in a list of 9,381 lead exchanges among investors this Tuesday. Looking at the top trading equities in terms of volume, UBA Nigeria PLC leader table there, 62.826 million shares traded. Wando PLC 36.157 million shares. Of course, Veritas Capital 33.506 million volume of shares. It also traded today as well. Despite the negative performance of the market, some equities also recorded gains. Leading that table is NASCON. NASCON gained 10% to close at 32 naira and 45 kobo per share. Academy PLC 10% as well. It gained to close at 2 naira and 20 kobo per share. Of course, Oando also there 9.89% to close at 30 naira and 55 kobo per share. Of course, that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Tuesday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Oil price dipped lower in volatile trade on Tuesday as a weak demand outlook after a global sell-off in market on Monday counter price support from fears of an escalation in the Middle East conflict and a drop in Libyan production. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $75 per barrel. For the open basket, price drops to $78 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogun.
Let's take a look at developments on the international scene, and we head over to the United States, where U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has nominated Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. Her decision is seen as one that will build an electoral coalition of coastal progressives and Midwest moderates to block Donald Trump from the White House. The announcement coincides with the commencement of the Vice President's tour of crucial battleground states. The tour will start with a rally in Philadelphia, where Walz will be formally introduced as her running mate. His selection is expected to show up support for Harris across the upper Midwest, a major buffer critical for Democrats' presidential hopefuls. Walz, age 60, is joining Harris in one of the most critical phases in modern American politics. Pundits say the ticket balancing complements Harris, who is from California and looking to become the first black woman president in U.S. history. All right, time now for some sports. Here's Adeni Ajishafe with the latest.
The Nigerian Women Football League (NWFL) on Tuesday announced Cross River State as the host of 2024 NWFL Championship. The league second division will hold from 31st August to 8 September 2024 in Calabar, Cross River State. The championship follows the Premiership Super 6 finals hosted by Bayelsa State, where Edo Queens emerged as first-time winners in June. Chief Operating Officer of NWFL Modupe Shabi confirmed that the draws and pre-match meetings will take place the day after the clubs arrive in Cross River State on 29 August. Participating clubs will be divided into 4 groups with 8 matches scheduled at 2 venues on the match day 1 of 31st August and another 8 games on match day 2 for September. September 2nd will be a rest day. Match day 3 will be held on 3rd September featuring 8 matches, followed by match day 4 on 4th September with 8 additional matches. 5th September will serve as the second rest day, while action resumes on 6th September for match day 5, with the 3rd rest day on 7th September. The final match day 6 on 8 will see 4 matches played simultaneously at 2 venues to determine promotion and relegation. Shabi said over 17 registered clubs will compete in Calabar for this year's championship. The top 2 teams will be promoted to NWFL Premiership, while 2 teams will be relegated to the 3rd division of the Women's League in Nigeria. And still on football, in a bid to foster unity and cooperation to achieve better results at Kano Pillars Football Club, Chairman of Kano Pillars Football Club, Ali Muhammad Umar, has urged players to fully support the club's new technical advisor, Usman Abdallah. In a press release by the club media, a formal introduction of Coach Abdallah to the players at the Sani Abacha Stadium before his unveiling on Tuesday. Development followed the appointment of Abdallah as the new technical advisor, succeeding former coach Paul Orfo. Umar emphasized on high expectations placed on the management, players, and technical crew, expressing confidence in the newly constituted board's ability to elevate the club's performance. Meanwhile, Coach Abdallah acknowledged the challenges ahead, assuring that he will work closely with his technical team to ensure the squad is well prepared for new season. Kano Pillars FC will kick off their 2024-2025 Nigerian Premier Football League campaign with a home match against newly promoted Ikorodu City FC of Lagos. That's Sport News. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up our news offering for you on the News Hour tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to follow us across our social media platforms to stay in touch. You can also visit our website, trusttv.com, for the latest news and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. For myself and the rest of the team, thank you for your time and good night.
Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.